All right. On the board, the Patriots get absolutely smoked in this one.
Yeah. It's on the board. I'm not predicting it, but it's definitely possible. You've got a high-powered offense and a stingy defense. I guess you could say that for the Pats too. But their quarterback has been playing better than Drake may. Even Drake we think is better, but Darnold's been playing better. Drake's been sacked 15 times. We have questions about at least parts of the offensive line for New England. Seattle can do it with the run with Kenneth Walker. I mean, even if he doesn't average a ton of yards per carry, he's going to wear a defense down. You got two great receivers for Darnold to throw to, and then a third one who's dangerous in Shaheed. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's possible. I don't see New England blowing Seattle out as really being on the board. I think winning is on the board. But I think for Seattle, a blowout is possible.
Yeah, in these games, anything is possible. I didn't think Kansas City was going to get blown out, and it happened. And the way that those games typically go is
Kansas City was going to win.
I could see if New England got down early by a substantial amount and they had to become one-dimensional where it was just a function of Drake May having to carry the team and then having to rely on the offensive line a lot more, not being able to keep as many guys as they want to in protection to chip and kind of help out and support it. And those games, usually they're not, I don't see this being out of hand from the first snap to where Seattle just controls the game. If it got out of hand, to me it would be they're down by 2 scores, they're trying to catch up and then turn, that type of sort of series of events. But they've lost by the most, 7 points this season? 2 games by 7, 1 game by 4.
Yeah, I didn't look up point differential, but everything. Yes, Josh is saying right. We've never given up 30. Oh no, 35. Josh scored 35 points, so we've never given up 35.
But even that game was a 4-point game, wasn't it? 35-31. So, is it possible? Yeah. To me, does that prediction seem a little bit more like sour grapes? Maybe.
Oh, yeah, there was a little bit of
a little bit of sour.
It's a little bit of a poker thing because of the sunglasses. I couldn't tell if his feelings were hurt, if it was real enough.
I think it was a little sour grapes. I think it was a way of saying if Bo Nix doesn't get hurt, we're in this game.
I think they feel like we win if Bo Nix. Why wouldn't you?
Right.
They can feel that way the rest of their life.
Right. Right. It doesn't matter. But that was my read on it as well.
All right. So this is how rare blowouts are, because I think we have in our mind the blowouts kind of stick out, but they are pretty rare. The last 25 Super Bowls, only 14 were decided by 1 score, only 6 2 scores. 5 were decided by 3 scores, and 11 games were decided by 4 points or fewer, which is one of the reasons why I take some umbrage at the 4.5 point spread, because that gets up to, I don't know.
Well, so wait, but that
it just feels like 11. I don't know.
That means 14 of the last 25 were decided by more than 4 points.
Yeah, but those were misses. Look, to be fair, I think if the Patriots getting blown out is on the board, I think it should be on the board that the Patriots blow out the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I disagree. The Seahawks are just way more battle-tested. The Seahawks are just way more battle-tested. That's just the straight-up reality of the situation. I've defended the schedule for the Patriots. I don't hold it against them. I don't use it as a way to say that the Patriots are not as good as blah, 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 blah. Never did that. Never did that. Never did that. But the Seahawks are more battle-tested, and the Seahawks have demonstrated a level of dominance and resiliency that the Patriots haven't. Not because they can't, but just because that's the way how the season unfolded for them. And so I don't think people understand how great this Seahawks defense is. I don't think they realize how great Mike Macdonald is. I don't think they realize how disciplined this defense is. They think because of what Matthew Stafford, I think the 2 Matthew Stafford games, the last 2 really stand out, and you're just kind of like, see, this defense can get got, and this defense is someone who's watched every single game from the Seahawks. This defense is so violent, so physical, so disciplined, high level of communication. I can't recall, honestly. I'm sure it's happened, but sometimes when you're watching a game, someone's in motion or people are moving in now, and you can see the defense like clearly like a little uncomfortable in emotion where they're pushing one of their other players to like move down or this. you can just tell that they're just kind of like, wait, what's happening right now? And it's like, just go. They're going to call hike in a second. Like, we just, like I've never seen them even like disrupted for like, I can't recall. If someone can let me know, like point out the game and I'll take a look. It's like, I don't recall. And obviously the main defenses that have just been absolutely amazing to watch. For me, the Seahawks and the Texans and the Steelers have had some moments. Again, other teams have had some moments, but it's just like when the two games that stood out so much to me was one of the games with the Texans and one of them with the Seahawks. And the Texans, ironically, they showed their defense against the Seahawks, but because that was actually a great defensive game, despite the Seahawks still rising to the occasion, still balling. But they had their own series of mistakes, which still makes me angry. But we'll let that go. We'll let that go. I don't need Cooper Kupp throwing passes right now. No, nobody needs that. Nobody needs that. But the Seahawks, they've just had so many impressive defensive stances that are pretty breathtaking. I mean, it's pretty amazing just against the 49ers to wrap up the season and lock up the 1 seed. That execution from a defensive perspective and the tackling. I still can't get over the tackling because it wasn't just based off of like hard hitting. It wasn't just like, we're just going to beat you with brute force. Like, it was just perfect technique and discipline and understanding and closeout speed. Like, it was just such high-level football. It wasn't coming from a place of like, we're just more hyped up than you. We're just more ready to get after it than you. And sometimes that is, well, how games are won and lost. Like, we always make fun of them when they say, oh, this team just wanted it more. And like, yeah, like, don't get me wrong. That could be some generic commentary, but like, I think the 49ers wanted it more than the Eagles in that playoff game. I'm not going to tell you that's the only reason why the 49ers won and the Eagles lost. But like, I don't know. I think it was pretty obvious. The Eagles in the Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs, I mean, like, they had the technique and all that, but they were going for blood. Like, they were getting after it. And I just listened to a clip from Joe Buck where he kind of talked about that. They were all on the bus with the Seattle Seahawks when they took down the Broncos, in the Super Bowl. And he was just like, me and Troy were talking to each other. We were just like, we just knew. He goes, I looked at my wife and said, like, this game's not even going to be close. And I believe him saying, I don't think he's just making that up at this point in his career. It'd be like a weird thing to make up. And he was just like, you could just tell that, when we met with the Seahawks, when we met with the Legion of Boom, there was just such a level of intensity that you're just like, this team is just going to get after it. And I just think that that's who the Seahawks have been throughout the entire course of the season. And even when they made a mistake with one of their defensive players who got the penalty and all of that, like, you could just see that they were holding everyone accountable. And you could see the defender who made that mistake. You could see that he desperately wanted to make up for it. His name has completely slipped my mind right now. But you could see, and like, I was angry about it. I was furious about it. I wanted to go nuts about it. But you can just see it wasn't even them fighting on the sidelines. It was accountability. And I talk about accountability all the time, especially with over these last like month or so. And it's like, you gotta have a coach that holds you accountable, and the players also hold each other accountable. And that is what the Seahawks have done all season long. And it's not to say that the Patriots don't do that, or that they can't, or this or that. Like, it's not to say any of that. It's not because the Patriots are awesome and they're deserving to be where they're at. I just feel that the Seahawks, the way how they play both offensively and defensively, the violence that they play, the physicality that they play with, the speed that they play with, the pieces that they have on both offense and defense, and the combination of all of that together, with Mike Macdonald and Clinton Kubiak being, the conductors of all of this, I just think it sets up the ability to really blow out teams in ways that no other team really demonstrated this year. And like, I mean, the Seahawks, I think they have the most. I mean, they have some of these crazy games. And again, I'm not a huge fan of just using blowouts as a reference point of how great you are. Like, I'm really not. Like that is not something that I lean on, but it's still just an objectively true statement. And the Patriots have some blowouts and whatnot, and it's like, yeah, against the Jets and stuff, and stuff like that. And again, I don't hold it against the Patriots either. Like I think I'm just hyper aware that when you have this type of conversation, this is what Wilds are trying to say. Well, like if you say the Seahawks can blow them out, then why can't the Patriots? And it's just like, because it's just the Seahawks are a better team, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that they're going to win. Doesn't mean that you can't believe in the Patriots. Doesn't mean that now just because you think this, someone like me, I believe the Seahawks are a better team. And it doesn't mean that I think that means that the Patriots are a bad team, or that if the Patriots win, people could be like, oh, see, you were proven wrong. It's like, no, because I think the Patriots are a great team. I just think that the Seahawks are a better team. And I think that if you get the best game, put it this way, I'll put it this way right now. This is actually the best way to sum this up. This is the best way to sum this up, and I wish I said it 10 minutes ago. Hopefully you're still with me. If both teams play their best, I'm so happy I just said it on this take, and I'm going to share it again over these next couple of days. If both teams play their best, the Seahawks win by multiple scores. If both teams play their best, the Patriots have no chance to win. No chance. It doesn't mean that the Patriots can't win, but if both teams are playing at the best, if you're getting the best version of the Seattle Seahawks, you are talking about a team that has the ability to just dominate and destroy you on both sides of the ball. Now, if the Patriots play their best, it's awesome too. And Drake May is fantastic and great, but I believe that the Seahawks defense has the ability to stop that. And if Sam Darnold is now at his best, no matter how great the other defense is, but if Sam Darnold is at his best, and you have Jackson Smith and Jigba, you have Kupp, etc., you're going to pile on the points. You're going to pile on the points. Sam Darnold, literally at his best, is literally out there playing like an all-time great. I mean, like he's literally been historically great doing things that we haven't even seen Mahomes, Aaron, etc. do. It's been insanely impressive. So I think that ultimately is what it gets boiled down to. The Patriots win this game by disrupting the Seahawks, by disrupting Sam Darnold, by making them uncomfortable, by making sure that when Drake May is flushed out of the pocket, he has a backbreaking play where he can now either extend the play and make a throw 15 yards down the field, or he rips off a 20-yard run. And you're like, it looks like either, someone's about to tackle Drake, and it's going to be a tackle for, a 10-yard loss and a sack, but he's able to skirt free. And now he goes off for another 10, 15 yards, right? You're forcing the Seahawks to not be at their best, to not be disciplined. That's how the Patriots win, is by disrupting what the Seahawks are going to look to do. But if they're both playing at their best and the disruption is not there, it's the Seahawks. And so the Seahawks have more paths to win this game. There's more paths to a blowout than the Patriots. The only way I see a blowout for the Patriots is if Sam Darn, and I've said this many times now, is if he absolutely just lays an egg. He absolutely turns into the definition of a pea of a pumpkin. And the takeaway from that game on Monday, everyone just says, clear Sam Darnold. Did we crown Sam too soon? No. Have the doubters been unsilenced? Because so many of the takes throughout the course of this week and last week, it was, did Sam Darnold silence doubters? Like, I guarantee you, if he plays terribly, it will be like, have we at least see one bottom line thing that says, have the doubters been unsilenced or whatever, right? And there you go. And Nick will be like, this was actually a category 3, whatever the heck he says. So that's the only way I see it. But there's way many other ways that a blowout, I think, Drake make a play awesome, could be awesome, and it could still be a blowout. And again, it also depends on how we're defining a blowout. Some people define a blowout 14, by 14. Some it's 21 or more, like I'm not going to get too lost in that. I'm not predicting 35-7 either, because I don't have any strong predictions in terms of the actual score itself. But I don't know. I don't think what I'm saying is really that controversial. Honestly, I really, really don't. And I think this is why I try so hard to be as consistent as I can, because nobody can say that this is coming from a place of me like doubting the Patriots or doubting Drake May, like, or just not respecting them. It's like I've been praising them and defending them like the Seahawks, quite frankly, like all season long. Been screaming about how elite and special Drake May is and all of this. I just think the Seahawks are that great. I just think they are that great and that special of a team. And as long as you get the best version of them, I think this game is incredibly straightforward. I think you will need true heroics out of the New England Patriots. I think you will need true heroics out of Drake May for them to come away with this game, let alone a blowout. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Seattle Seahawks? Is it on the board that they blow out the New England Patriots? Let me know your thoughts. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get into some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. Please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help visibility in the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.